G'day, g'day, lads. Hope y'all doing well today. Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to more gaming. Where we game. I like the games. Alright, let's do this. I am so determined to try and get this game done. I want to get this game done as soon as possible, and at the same time I'm like, no, wait, we still gotta stop and read everything. So y'all are just gonna have to bear with me. But I'm hoping we manage to finish this trial. This whole mission tonight. We probably won't, but if I'm lucky, we will. Okay. Anyway, let's go into it. Your recap is we were defending Albert Hairbrain in trial, and we're trying to figure out what the machinations of the machine. It was a machine that was apparently teleporting people, but the thing is, it was a lie. So we had to all go away and like spend more time investigating, and we have the trial tomorrow. So we found the workshop of the guy who was probably behind all of this, but we haven't found the actual guy yet. We're trying to bring him in to subpoena him. All right, let's do this. This is the European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, do you suppose? Crossbow bolts these, and just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition ground. In other words. Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scene of the whole scam. Yeah. That makes sense. What's this? Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed. It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulder and a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist would wish for no higher honor. Would you like a massage? No. I'm quite good, thank you. Thank you for the offer. No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there is much more to this Enoch Drebber than conjuring chicks. Oh yeah, and we've connected this Enoch guy to the Hounds of Baskerville's case, where we found out that the case is where a bunch of royal people would die from someone commanding a dog to kill them, basically. And I have a whole theory around that, but we'll get there. I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Naruhodo? Would you like to take it with you? For your tight shoulders, of course. He's not gonna let that go, is he? It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. Okay. Look at them. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change dropped on the floor or nothing. Not even a bone for Toby here, my dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Mr. Sato. Ah. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? They really don't give me a lot to go off of, do ya? Alright, door. This door, what doesn't open? Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on his way over the yard, so hands off till he gets there. Just let Gina unlock it. With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in 1 minute. And there's also Sholmes, apparently. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side. No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger. Whoa. Why are you the third though, bro? What was that? Oh. Is something wrong, Susato-san? I thought I heard a noise. Well, Gina, do you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it all. What do you reckon, Toby? Oh, I forgot she had a doggo. Hi, Stanium. What? Alright, mind the grease. Oh, I don't like that at all. Whoever's in there, open up, it's Scotland Yard. Oh, I don't like this. Clunk. What the fuck was that? Oh my, someone is in there. Ah, rotten blade and lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago. I love this. If only it were countenanced, I could unlock the door in less than a minute. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get through that blaster door. Click! It is done. You may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond the door is the engineer you will seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Just pull out a sword, she be right. Oh no. Oh no! They escaped through the hatch up. There's a hatch up here that has footprints. Whoa, what happened in here? Bros, get the fuck out of there! Why is everything upside down? You know, I didn't even notice that. Is everything upside down, or is it just the floorboards? Because this looks like the right way up. But then this doesn't. Right, so there ain't no one in here after all. Just the bomb in the middle of the room. But there must be. There was only moments ago that we heard those noises. There's the sound of Trevor running away. But there's only one door into this room. Oh, I mean, there's a window. And no windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high. I don't know, there's a footprint though. That's awfully suspicious. Blimey, what have we here then? No thanks, Gregson. Just to make it clear. Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. It looks like canvas. Oh, put blueprints. Yeah, that does make more sense. In this image, it literally just looks like some folded fabric from Spotlight. Oh, to that Professor Airbrain's balmy machine, is it? Blimey, if we had these, there'd be no need to muck about much trying to investigate all that scrap metal. There's something of great interest here, too. Are all of you guys ignoring the bomb in the middle of the room? It's right there. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of the pillar. A rope? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly. No, don't touch the bomb. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh no. There's footprints. Can't imagine how they come together then. Isn't there like a Susato shoot up or something? I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruhodo. That would make her superhuman, I suppose. She could be superhuman. It's a really lovely model, looks like the real one. I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle as a full-size balloon. Why is it still floating? Did they put helium in it recently? Whole thing was planned in this very workshop. I'm just like looking at everything. Like, this looks like it's latched to the floor. But this obviously isn't. Anyway. Mr. Sholmes, have you found anything? The bomb? In point of fact, there is something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? It's a bomb. Let's see. Looks like a bundle of thick cigars. Oh, Mr. Sato, what's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What did you say? Oh, great. Huh, a time bomb? Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly? Eh. You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo. Please be more worried, Sholmes. Won't take that as a compliment. Ah, you don't know nothing, do you, Odo? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Naruhodo-san. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Well, what is it? I see, so that's it. Oh no. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair, for I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to adapt to the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. Is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself. Oh, but how could you? And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor here is without question completely genuine. Wait, what? Oh, please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It would be my pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted by the idea anyway. You deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Sato. Oh, yes. I'll be delighted. So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Do. Yeah. I guess. Flipped furniture. I'm gonna drink water. It's plain to see that this room is in fucking tissues on the bottom. Is in complete disarray. The bed, the tables, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the roof ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that? Indeed, the key here is gravity. Sure, okay. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. Yes. Sure. For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. Inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Mr. Sato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction and my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact. What? What are you dreaming of, Sholmes? But then why does it have a clock on it? It's just like that click clock place in Super Mario. A most relevant question indeed. That is a time device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically, and the commotion we heard outside from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. God bless this idiot. So you see, we will look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. I have to admit, I do wish that this was true, right? If this was any other game, I'd be like, yes, this has got to be it. But it can't be, because despite how much this game tries, it tries to be like, oh, is this an option? It's like the teleportation device, whatever. Like, it sounds plausible, like they gave us the science to believe it could be true, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to actual, like, real life science. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. This man is crazy. I love him. Gravity was reversed. Okay. Okay. Missing engineer. What? Now let us consider the conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yeah. Yes, how is it possible there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints in the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Sure. Of course, Trevor's aim was singular, to escape. Right? However, there is but one way into this room, excepting the skylight, that is. Oh. By inventing the gravity in here, inverting, Trevor was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving these footprints behind on the way. Again, such a cool idea if we were in space. Maybe in a space game. Need oh my god, a sci-fi, like, Ace Attorney game. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Schultz. If the gravity reserved was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Trevor have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. What? But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers us a solution. The rope. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end of the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. But he could have done that without inverting gravity. If he had rope, just lasso that bitch around and get yourself up. Which explains how Trevor was able to escape this room before our arrival. I love him. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. Personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. Just wait for them to find out it's a real fucking explosion and they all have to run out of the room. That'd be so funny. Okay, Sholmes, really loving your thoughts, but we need to have a conversation. The dog. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. That's what it feels. Is such a thing possible? An anti-gravity device? I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century. No. Yeah, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Thank you. Okay. But your whole deduction hinges on it. Thank you. Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. I feel like I've heard that before. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of knowledge. Find out that's a direct quote from Sherlock Holmes. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. I had a feeling I'd read it in something that Mr. Sato lent me once. Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the spell's broken at last. The rope you found on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was. In lone coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
Sir. Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find. As I think you'll find, do ropes. Oh my god, okay. Alright, may I do my correction, please? Yes, let's go. The one thing I always love about this course correction part is that I really love imagining Sholmes, like, literally again, like, reenacting all of this out. Perfectly, like, the exact same way. They're like, because that would require a lot of time and effort to be like, I'm gonna stand in the exact same place and say the exact same line over and over again. All right.
To think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive such an explanation.
But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once.
Ooh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mr. Sato.
When you have it in the middle...
Yeah, okay. Alright. The flowers. Which here breaks the laws of Sholmes's gravity theory? I mean, I would say the safe. Oh, wait, this. Upright vase? Why is the vase, like, this is bolted to the ground, so why this?
Take that!
Okay. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Naruhodo, you have surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps. No one's trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. As you rightly say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the ground. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me. The gravity in this room was never inverted. Bro's hurting today, God forbid. My deepest sympathies for your loss.
Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes.
But the show must go on, so let us continue without deductions. I like how I'm just in the background. What about the bomb? Believes one mystery very much unsolved, namely, why would anyone choose to do that? For what? And naturally, there is an explanation. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he?
I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong.
There's no doubt that somebody did this. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down. Oh, there's a safe code! Hold up! Why is all the furniture upside down? Did the bro forget where he left the fucking safe combination? You can't fuck that up. Okay, that is insane. Wait. So, you live in a room, you live in a house, and you're like, man, I'm gonna write the secret code to my safe underneath a piece of furniture. But at some point, you forget which piece of furniture? That's pretty stupid. You should remember which piece of furniture, right? Hi, bro. Hi. Oh my god, it's so stupid. I have a very similar experience, did you not? Yeah, last year when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart and always make a written note of important information.
Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think.
And what, pray, happened next, Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room inside out to find it. And that's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they noted things down.
Not if you always note things in the same place.
I actually won the second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into, so I had to... Thank you, Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point. He remembered he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but didn't remember which one. That's such a stupid reason. In a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. You know, at least it seems more viable than gravity. Even though I wish it was gravity. So thirsty. I'm sorry, what? Why is there a shoe up here? It's hard to believe there's a shoe up here, look.
Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, do you think?
If so, then judging by the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Okay, why would anyone be throwing shoes up the ceiling though? Let me just examine the balloon just in case. Am I missing something? Is it just the shoe then? Nothing else highlighted in here at all. The shoe? Okay, it's just the shoe. I mean, we literally said in the description, I don't know why anyone would do that, but okay. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. Okay.
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data.
It was a piece of the green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene.
And inside the green balloon that Master God claimed he saw above the stage when the incident occurred was the second bird cage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception.
You mean to say?
If we assume the balloon in here is a model for the one used on the day, there is a strong possibility something may have concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. I'm sorry, what? What sort of deduction is that? I think Sholmes did it. I think that'll be a future crime. He'll definitely get blamed for it. Sorry, it was me. Damn it, Quasical, we talked about this. You need to stop randomly throwing shoes at balloons in order to break them open and accidentally leaving footprints on your fucking ceiling. God forbid. But the balloon is out of reach. Hence why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. That's so stupid. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with a shoe. That's so stupid. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside.
You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? Oh right, we're still on a deduction thingy. I forgot about that. Hi Lily. Sprinkle positivity. Hope y'all doing well today. Ugh. I have to admit, that was clever. We just throw the rope up in the balloon and then pull it down to us on the ground.
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well.
Perhaps we need a more surefire method. Do we? Oh. Yeah, let's use the evidence! Let's go! To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? Oh my god. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. What? This makes no sense. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? There's like nothing. It'd be so funny they pop it open and there's just nothing inside. What? Why is... Oh! It's the head of the mannequin! Wait, why would you put that on a balloon? And how did it still float with it inside? I still don't think that... Okay. Waxwork? Indeed, it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is tight shut and fastened with a strong and most impenetrable lock.
Just a moment. This is the head of the waxwork figure. Does that mean... Oh, goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Mrs. Sato. Excellent. The case of the abducted Madame Tuspel model that you'd largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed, it was. But I believe Madame Tuspels will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes.
But why is it here?
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. He's so cool. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspels and returning it sans tete. Tete. Earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber. I'm not exactly surprised. Who would have thought that they're linked, even though it's a video game and every chapter is mostly concealed within that chapter, so if anything happens in one, it's usually connected to the other, but la la la. Okay. Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise? Our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure.
The architect?
He's alive. He is in the room still, and he is in the wardrobe. It seems quite impossible that he escaped via the skylights. Obviously, the man still must be here. God bless this man.
What?
And his location should be abundantly clear. What about the bomb in the middle of the room? If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. He's inside the safe. Would you really lock yourself inside of a safe, mate? I wouldn't put myself into a safe, but hey. It definitely makes a lot of sense if you consider he's Take that! Nice, okay. Yeah! What about the bomb in the middle of the room, though? Before we get access to the back room, we had noises from in here. Which tells us the engineer was still in the building at the point in time. He was, in fact, searching for the combination to his safe. And pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process. Made no attempt. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently. In summary, Enoch Drebber they're so silly. Is at this very moment inside the safe. Open, open sesame. Okay, so cool. Hi, Rusty. Hope you're doing well. How'd you go, Lily? Have you got all the sleep yet? Get all the sleep. I got lots and lots. You really did. Time we ended this hide and seek game. So do you want to like... God, the animation in this. You found me. How delicious. Yes, yes I do. Okay, cool. Done. Send stone. Tomorrow around 3. Whatever that ends up being. I was gonna do it today, but I saw that you weren't online and I was like, she must be still sleeping. Because the last thing I told you was, get some more sleep, gorgeous. So it was like, oh. He has like a robot arm? Hold up, he has a robot arm? Or is that just like, what is this man? Yes, flip. Do it, yes. Do the professor. I love the steampunk aesthetic he's going for right here. Why would you have a black monocle? Surely that would be useless. You found me. Yahoo! 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 Right then, Enoch Drebber, I presume. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I'm so proud of you for sleeping. You should get more sleep, okay? I mean, like, I know you have work later today. You have stuff. There's things you need to do, but like, what if you got more sleep? Thoughts? Correct. Better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built.
And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Tuspels.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions.
No. Okay, I eat more. Yay! What you mean, you don't have a welding monocle? No, I don't. Not really my vibe.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions.
He's so cool.
Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first.
Deactivate?
Your parcel?
The bomb? I refer, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in the most prominent position.
Stunned silence, I see.
You're all gearing up to die with me, then.
No.
They're fine.
Mr. Shams, with only 7 seconds to spare. That was too close for comfort. I've got 1 foot in the grave already.
Are you trying to help us get a killer or get killed?
Mr. Shams's deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave.
Such a good fade away. The resemblance of an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
What? Anti-gravity devices don't exist.
Thank you. Oh, we're just chatting with you now. I guess we're just talking to him now. Fish and chip. I know, I want chips. Every time I think about it, I'm like, I want chippies. What on earth happened here?
You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems.
Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Trevor.
What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt. Whistling?
Whistling.
Ah, that would have been me. I fucking knew it. For some reason, I work in fine fettle today. As we all do.
No words, just tightly squeezing chips.
Clearly, I must have a screw loose,
Although, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one loose, as I don't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down.
We also found a rope by the wall.
Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe.
And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters.
After that, you hid yourself inside a safe. I first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police.
Okay.
That's valid.
Got a death wish, have ya? Hiding right on beside a ticking time bomb.
Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe?
Good point.
It's no ordinary safe. It's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it.
So, in fact, the safe was the only safe place.
He did it. I'm so proud. Yeah! He's the coolest.
Okay. Precisely.
But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within.
Oh, so it is.
I had always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans.
Woo! Do you mean to say you're planning to blow us all up?
No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But you seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. Yeah. That's what, yeah. You right, Gregson.
Is something wrong, Gregson?
Oh my god. Okay.
Do I have something on my face besides the unusual eyes, the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth?
Loving the suit. We have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. What about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Hairbrain's instantaneous kinesis, the waxwork.
That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor.
Clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. What? I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's enough. What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well. Dr. Scythe again.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished. You lot, leave at once.
My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Miss Dr. Scythe?
Hello, Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe. It's almost like she is also connected to the Hounds of Baskerville case, because everyone else. If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. Get out.
Get out.
But of course, we'll show ourselves to the door. Bye! I see you haven't softened at all. Not a huddle. Yeah? It would appear that our delightful entertaining investigations have run their course for the day. But Mr. Sholmes... Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands.
It is really interesting that in this case, we've found out that, we love you, Gregson. Please don't die.
If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits.
Yeah, Gregson!
There was a time bomb set near, and this lot disarmed it.
Inspector.
Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Duraba?
So sorry, didn't mean to offend. You've been right, of course. You're quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you?
No, don't do this!
Yes, you did disarm that one.
No, Gina!
What are you? That one? Are you? You mean?
Oh no.
No!
Gina?
No!
There was another one?
Okay, Gina's okay at least. Thank fuck! It was an hour later that we heard the news of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all of its secrets were blown away forever. So much for the Protection Act, am I right? That was a great way of ending that. That's pretty cool. I'm sorry guys, I'm sleepy gum. Do 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 do. That still took us 40 minutes. Yeah. 9:11 a.m. What's this guy's voice again? Oh, it's like Usin, but not. Ellie. There you go. Good morning to you, Mr. Narahara. Good morning, Professor. I hope so. I should be. Even I, with nothing left to. Good morning, my dear fellows. Wow, you're up early. Mr. Sholmes, you're here! Why, naturally, a true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in battle at all times. Thank you. I really appreciate it. See you later, then. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the courtroom today.
Yes, do try your hardest not to enter the witness stand uninvited again.
Yes, I will. I realized a terrible mistake. My dear fellows, I must interject. You're still here, Mr. Sholmes. What's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not? To be cast in my direction, Sorry, I don't follow. Must I spell it out? I, the great Sherlock Holmes, the greatest detective of worldwide acclamation.
Arose at some ungodly hour to be here now. First thing in the morning. A miracle, you must agree. Bro just wants to be patted on the head. You did great, buddy. Okay, I'm so proud of you. Alright, you ruffle your head a little bit. Okay, alright. Now you go throw a snack. Go. Get it. Fetch. Well, if I must agree, then... As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. It has tried to impregnate me multiple times. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the cover off, shook me, poked both cheeks, punched me, kicked me from the bed. I think she just wanted to do the cleaning. Ray got me into Magic the Gathering. There's an avatar set. Now that's just cheating, okay? That's like almost getting me into, I forgot the name of it. There was, what was it? What was I thinking of? There's an MMO. I can't remember. There was an MMO I almost got into because there's like so many DLCs, like there's like a Lord of the Rings DLC and so many others. Oh, I can't remember. But it was very cool. Okay. Then she poured a boiling cup of her latest experimental blend on my face, and at last I was bestirred.
Oh my, Iris has been busy.
Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's too nice. I sense the spirit of a fellow scientist, one who relishes the infinite possibilities of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory. Sorry to cut in. Yeah, sorry to cut in. Sorry. Please don't let the sleep I didn't know there was an avatar set until after I started playing it. Oh, okay. Alright, well then, well done, Ray. Well done. Oh, Inspector Gregson, good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow, why the grim expression at this delightfully early hour? Bro is coping right now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grimmer expression, eh? Dear me, are you going to take that insult lying down, Professor? What? What? I don't know. Oh, Professor. Anyway, here's the old paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? Ah, I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday. I have a feeling it may prove useful. You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this and pull this out of the archives. It's the professor's autopsy report. Oh.
The mass murderers.
He was found guilty in a closed trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. Are we gonna find out who was alive after all? He was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in it. Sure. Thank you, Inspector. Yes, much obliged, Gregson. Us lowly lot of the yard are just doing what we can in the shadow of the great Detective Sholmes, of course. Was that genuine? I think that might have been genuine. He's totally gonna die. Okay. Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today we're gonna lay all of this to rest. I suppose he'll be in there today, will he, Trevor?
Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness.
I'm still amazed you managed to find him in just one day. I really owe you both so much. Okay. Please don't call me out. Hey, Lily, cutie. She's so cute. Dang, where'd she get them toes from? This is it, the final chapter. Funny, my heart's racing a little. I've not felt this before, actually, this strange foreboding. As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. Just cut away to him dying.
Oh no, now I'm gonna toast. Oh my god, Kazuma-sama! Kazuma-sama, Kazuma-sama, Kazuma-sama. You know, looking at it again now, it's so obvious it's Kazuma-sama. Kazuma-sama, Kazuma-sama. Yes, my lord.
There appears to be someone standing at your side.
You are merely a figment of your imagination, my lord. It is just, my shadow. It doesn't, it's not there. Ah, yes, my apprentice and assistant. The prosecution believes today's proceedings will be the complexity of this case arises considerably.
Oh, he has a sword too.
I therefore instructed my assistant to attend to ensure
That's so crazy.
to ensure the smooth running of the trial.
I'm really excited to see Kazuma-sama throw himself to the deck as he throws the chalice. Or he's gonna catch the chalice. He's gonna catch it.
The way he holds himself and moves. He couldn't be anyone else.
Still suffering from amnesia, so there's really nothing we can do at the moment.
Oh, but this is so very hard.
Alright, we found the person.
Yes, my lord. We're going to make him talk.
And these people still are here.
I so despise deception to say it's so very wearing.
A conjuring trick. Any fake scientist should feel the wrath of God, if you ask me.
We have to listen to what they say on both sides of the fence and then settle on one. That's it, isn't it?
Wasn't like this in my day, wasn't like this at all. God fucking damn it. Go, Lord Van Zieks. There is a report I must read to the court. Yesterday, at the Great Expedition Ground, the evidence of primary importance in this case, the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine, which was installed on the experimentation stage, was deliberately destroyed in an explosion effected by an unknown person or persons.
Okay, I really hate this because we are all, like, we as in, like, Gina, Gregson, me, Sholmes, and Susato, we're all witnesses, like, that is multiple people, witnesses to Drebber saying, you turned off one bomb, but not the other. We saw that happen, okay? We saw that happen. So we actually know who did it. Like, can't you just... Unless there's a mysterious other person behind everything. But it's just, I'm just saying, we know who did it.
I read that the machine was blasted to smithereens, and the wreckage reduced to ashes in the flames. I have here a photographic print of the scene taken in the wake of the explosion.
Boom.
And shows what little remains of the machine.
Well, we know there's a fucking giant trapdoor there, like we anticipated. He did it to destroy the Evans, did he?
That Enoch Trevor.
Enoch. Oh, yeah.
And late yesterday afternoon, the protection afforded to this machine was revoked. However, a thorough investigation could begin. The invention was obliterated from existence.
At least no one was hurt.
And this will become a very different trial.
Why he so mean, bro?
As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the kinesis machine will remain forever in obscurity.
Oh, that's right! I forgot about that. The whole point was that we're trying to prove that it's real or not. Even though it's definitely not. Condemned prisoner, redacted for confidentiality. Pseudonym, the professor. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th of June.
Courtney Stevens. You know someone else who kind of looks like a Courtney? I'm just saying, she could totally be. Oh, she's a Courtney! Oh! I didn't remember her first name. I was just like, she strikes me as a Courtney. Oh my god, fuck. Scythe, does that mean she got married? Who's she married? Tell me about it. Or she was married and somebody died. Oh my god, she married Drebber. That would be crazy. They look, oh, I was gonna say, they look identical, right guys? Completely different nose, completely different ears, completely different chin. Just go with me here. Identical. Alright, I'm gonna forgetting everything. Oh my god, there's so much going on. I feel like so much is going to happen in this trial, and I'm a little intimidated. For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine who ultimately caused its loss of control. As Lord Van Zeeks rightly says, this is a very different trial now. The accused accepts responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. He acknowledges that Mr. Asselman died as a result of the accident caused by this machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, Counsel. The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. Odie Asman. So what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defendant intends to expose that information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of the defendant. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful line. Well done. It's like you've never lost your touch being in court. Do I look like a corny? Ain't no way. You could be a corny. I reckon you could be a corny. Just really, I just feel like now, like, after obviously seeing this, like, woman, my brain's like, you've got to have the hair of a Courtney, though. You've got to really do that high ponytail. Do you have the high ponytail? Just want to see you in pretty different hairstyles, okay? Shh. Anyway, the higher, the higher the ponytail, the taller the Courtney, okay? Also, heels. You need to have heels if you want to be a Courtney. Obviously, right guys? Right? I've never seen a Courtney without heels. I say that like I see Courtneys in my day-to-day life. I don't remember the last time I saw someone called Courtney. Wait for me to come back on like Thursday or Friday after work and be like, guys, I saw there was a Courtney today. At once, my lord. The prosecution calls Enoch Drebber. Yes! Name and occupation. Name, Enoch Drebber. Occupation. Unemployed, hard to pin down, I would say. See that black monocle? Yes, why does I feel as though I've seen it before? Oh, you two had the exact same feeling.
The files indicated they were currently being investigated in connection with another case, the theft of a waxwork model. But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Cleave it from your mind. You're familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Expedition. Guys, I had French toast for dinner, and it was so good. Just felt like you guys needed to know. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? You know, I really got to admire how much Kazuma is just like, here you go, my lord. Has everything prepared in files. It was you, Mr. Drummer, who constructed the last machine used in the experiment, or so our investigation indicates. Can you confirm your involvement? Yes, I constructed it, in a precise accordance with the blueprints, that's all. Oh yeah, the blueprints! Do we still have those? Or did we not get them properly submitted? Oh, darn. Damn, darn, dick-a-noo. Dang. Dang. Wait, can I open it? Where's the lock? Oh, there's the lock. Imagine if it itched on your cheek all of a sudden, you'd be utterly helpless.
Well, that's true. Not sure.
We're gonna find out that it was actually Enoch Drebber, who's the professor or something. See, there's two possibilities, right? Is one, we find out Enoch Drebber is the professor. And it's like, to finally prove that he is actually connected to the events that happened in the past, I'm gonna unlock, and we managed to unlock the helmet of this helmet. And then reveal that it was him all along. Or, we're gonna hold on to, like, this is gonna be extra evidence for something later on. In, like, a different chapter. Like, in this chapter, we open it up and find out, dun dun dun, it has Makotoba's face on it. And everyone will be like, what? The professor is Makotoba? What does that mean? Pardon. It's gonna be like something like that. Amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. What?
Oh, Rachel, you meant to say that the experiment was bona fide. Is that your belief, sir?
Yes, that is much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up.
We saw you, but we've already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring chip.
You have established nothing of the sort. All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is that the same outcome could have been produced by means of stage trickery.
You right. But.
We've procrastinated enough.
Testimony! Alright. Show me the goods, man.
I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. It was if the whole show was a fraud, it would require a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birch cave appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow? How now, brown cow?
A body double.
That goes without saying, to give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines?
Can I just present the head?
Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman has no twin siblings.
Thank you for verifying that.
But such talents do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what, by all accounts, must have been an extremely complex scientific machine.
Whatever do you mean?
Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber.
Indeed, my lord. As a swindler who preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grant money through conjuring know-how.
Yes, it is true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. Investigations of the witnesses workshop attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy for young talent in science there.
Come to think of it, I never inspected that piece of evidence. Does it actually say his name on the front? Featuring... Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Can we open it? There's gotta be something suspicious in here. Oh yeah, we've got blood on this as well. So the camera at least proves that there was blood on it. But that doesn't mean, like, we don't have the blood identified, so I don't know how helpful that's going to be or not. Oh yes, the piece of broken glass. That's also connected to the word. The piece. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past.
Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was
an unfortunate accident, or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science? My head hurts. What does any of this mean? Okay, I'm gonna save. Press. Let's just double check this.
Objection!
No, that's not what I wanted you to press on, buddy. This still feels like we're okay. Let's try using this. A small fragment of very unusual and thick glass was found in the folds of clothing of the Professor Waxwork.
Objection!
Damn it. Okay, not that. That's fine. I thought it made sense to be like, hey, if he needs a body double, why is this waxwork have his... Can I the blood?
Objection!
Nope, not the blood. Okay. I might need to press more. Okay, way off. I think I'm jumping the gun way too much. Hold up. It says I need to inspect something. So the bottom of it is damaged. Look here, Sasato.
Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height.
Yes, from the height at which the balloon was falling down to the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters.
Leaving the man inside tragically dead.
Okay. Okay. What am I contradicting here, though? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into... Oh, because he said headfirst and not bottom first. Okay. Alright, I was not going to put that together.
Objection!
We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell 30 feet into the glass tower. That level of damage is to be expected. I agree, the damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. All the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top.
What are you saying? I'm saying bingo bongo.
That's the opposite of where they should be.
That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two birdcages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. Gug. Two birdcages. So what, one that, oh, right, okay, so they showed the cage itself disappearing underneath the hole in the thing. Okay, I understand what they're saying. They disappeared in the thing and went under here. And then the other one on the other side popped and still crashed down. I didn't even put that together. I was so convinced there was gonna be some sort of pulley system, you know, like a Miles Edgeworth. Well, if we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower. But multiple witness reports claim it fell headfirst. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion at an altitude of some 60 feet above ground level.
Which is approximately 18 meters.
And then it proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower. In the ensuing deflagration, witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable. But the victim's neck was broken. He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. I do agree with that. A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebra, actually. He wasn't quiet for long. Yes, there's one more point. The defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates. What? Why is the bro a robot? Their kinesis. Save. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Oh, well, this is just proving the whole balloon theory, right? Right? Torn piece of canvas backed with rubber that was found on an experiment. There are scorch marks at the edge. Do I say the balloon? Do I present the photo?
Objection.
Fuck. Alright, not that. I thought that's what made sense. Alright, maybe I'll push on it again.
Hold it.
What do you mean? Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience. And the victim's neck broke as a result of an impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere. The balloon that exploded was an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. That difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance the cage fell. And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen. That distance if it didn't drop out of the sky. Ergo, the victim himself must have beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower.
What? A trenchant scientific analysis.
Increasingly plausible? No! Oh, hi Babylon. Hi, hello, it is me you're looking for. How did you know? Hello Babylon, welcome to this jolly day. Ah. Are you okay, hon? Yeah. I grabbed the edge of, like, my desk to, like, pull myself forward. And instead I just kind of, like, my hands slipped and, like, thonked together with my fingers. And my nail hurt a little. That was all that was. Don't you stress. That's why I didn't react much. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Okay, so presenting this didn't work because, I mean, well, this... I don't know. Please don't hurt yourself. Lily, Han needs you to kiss her fingers better. I'm good, thank you. What am I doing? I need answers. Present the experimental sketch. Oh, fuck. Fine. Stupid sketch. I'll be honest, I don't consider this sketch to be, like, evidence. Because in my brain, it's like, it's obviously just like a map to be like, this, or this, or this. And that's obviously what it wants from me right now, though. Apparently. So diagram the experimentation stage. It fell from a balloon.
Well, it appears that events knows things.
Are we insinuating here, or are we insinuating over here? Because I assumed we were talking about a cage falling from the balloon. I mean, from this, like, angle, it must be meaning here. But that would mean that the original guy got into the cage here, and then fell from here to here. But then how does his body get up here? Again, like, this is why I believe the pulley system, because at least, like, one bird cage, one body, like, you could at least make it look like it's fake. And, like, what about this pop thingy? Damn, shit, okay, that is what it's insinuating. Okay. Just making sure we're understanding each other.
is here.
But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with.
Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage. I don't know where this is going. But what we also must consider is the height of the stage itself.
Go on, Guts.
Turns out the experimental stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. If you look at the diagram, in fact, you'll see it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon was above the crash site. Okay. It's a very elaborate death. When the experiment got underway, God, it's cold. The machine and the birdcage was engulfed in steam, right? At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assume there to be a void underneath, well, we know that because there's evidence, but that's fine. This birdcage, and one seen by the audience, would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Okay. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there are not one birdcage, but two.
Objection.
My friend has no evidence that the stage has a contrivance in its design. Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, it's true. I don't have enough water beside me. However, the stage still stands, and take a moment to look at the photographic print from yesterday. It's a pit in the center.
Good lord, the metal grill that formed the floor of the machine is undone.
Most likely blown open by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated immediately. Yeah! Do it. But also, how'd you switch the bodies around so quickly? It means you built the two bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Hairbrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because it's the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Asmon's life. And lay the blame firmly at the professor's door, something that could have only been carried out by the engineer. Whoa, go.
Objection.
Oh, what a man. He still crushes it. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument slowly, but surely. What? Your argument fails to hold water. Like this pussy. What? On two accounts. Two? Firstly, sorry. Before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of staff from the exhibition was attested to that.
And I believe members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment.
In other words, Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too, buddy.
Objection.
But I've already explained why he wouldn't have needed to. And the nonsense with the crossbow, that doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensics investigation team's report is unequivocal. And the second flaw in your assertion is a distinct lack of motive. You know, I haven't even thought about motive yet. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so.
A motive. Do I have to think of everything myself? Addie Osman is obviously, the professor way back when. The contract into which Mr. Drebber entered with the victim, Mr. Osman. Dr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations from the government, grants on other income.
30%? Certainly very favorable contractual condition.
But there was one very important provision bolted into that clause. What? Mr. Drebber may also uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. Oh. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Asman's death, the diametric opposed in fact. So need I say more? The witness had neither an opportunity nor a reason to commit to the alleged crime. In short, the possibility of Mr. Drebber having done as you suggested is nil.
Hi, Aelin! How's it going?
Good to see you. Contractual obligation to this deck. Ooh. Someone put me to bed. Couldn't have done it. I have no idea what his motive might have been. Mother.
There's one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 bird cages. The prosecution is unable to deny that. And no doubt there are many aspects of your assertions that are undeniable truths.
I am home. What confusing things have missed this time? Robot man. Ouchie. The tinnitus is persistent. Fight it! Grab the knife? Don't grab a knife, but like, what if you grabbed a knife? You know what? A metaphorical knife. A mental knife. Cut very thin pieces of cheese. Please don't listen to me. Please don't ever listen to me. I'm so sorry. In my brain, there's a picture, you know, and it's... Don't worry about it. I don't have cheese. That's unfortunate. Please, no knifing. He knows the professor that didn't have about that. Well, we already know that. Okay, let me go back a second. Because I'm realizing I might also need to explain what happened last Friday. Okay, what happened? What happened last week? Just let me just... Okay. How do I explain what happened? So, last week we found out there is a waxwork figure of a figure known as the Professor. Sholmes, which is the case of the Hounds of the Baskervilles case, where a bunch of the professor would set dogs on people, okay, and killed up to 5 people, the 5th one being Van Zeek's brother, okay, and then was caught after that, okay, but in the trial it was a closed case in order to protect the identity of the person, presumably because they were either a noble or at least a person of high esteem, as far as I understand, okay? We don't know yet, okay? Pardon. Okay. So, Sholmes tells all this because there is in the waxwork figure,
there is Anok Dreba, who allegedly saw the professor rise out of the grave, and come back to life, okay? Anok Dreba claimed that he saw the professor come back to life, but after weeks passed, people thought he was lying and just considered him, like, a liar, okay? Which I feel like inadvertently set him on the path of evil because, you know, everyone probably would treat him like a fraudster wherever he went, and he wasn't treated genuinely. Okay. So there's at least a bit of a motive there, assuming the professor has obviously escaped death, and maybe Adi Asman is the professor, but I don't know how likely that is to be, because I also believe that that's going to become more of a thing in the future trials, but I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, so we found Anok Dreba's workshop with a doggo, okay? And inside the workshop there was a test building of the machine, but there was also a room that looked like it had been thrown around and put upside down. Looks like it had been thrown around when in reality it was someone just trying to find the code in order to, like, Anok Dreba to hide in a safe. And then he exploded the... So this whole time, the scientific machine couldn't be investigated, and the moment it could be investigated, it was set to explode by Dreba to ensure that it never got verified on whether it was legit or not, okay? Requires so many brain cells to remember all of this. So many brain cells. Okay. So currently what's happening, Aelin, is we are testifying that the victim, Mr. Asman, had a broken neck, which is evident that he at least suffered a very bad fall, okay? And we're trying to prove that trying to prove that all of this is, like, fake and trickery. That to simulate the idea of, like, the guy falling from here, we're making it look like he actually fell from beneath the experiment stage to the floor. But that still doesn't explain how they transported the body. Okay. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead my reputation is defiled. It was already defiled. The prosecution counter has set the record straight, I think. Okay.
Objection.
We have tried our best. I hope all of that made sense. Hi, Lily! I love you! You're amazing. At the beginning of this trial, we believed there was only one birdcage, yet now we know there must be two. In other words, there's more to the demonstration than we realized. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Get to the point. The stage demonstration was constructed and set up in its entirety by you, Mr. Dreba. Therefore, it's inconceivable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. I agree with that. So, if circumstances mean it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that someone else was involved. What?
Someone else? Consul, are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord. Mr. Dreba had an accomplice. What?
Objection.
An accomplice now. Well then, I presume you're prepared for what's to come. Now that you're accusing not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes.
Is this gonna be someone we already know? Is it gonna be Corny? Oh my god, it could be Corny. It actually kind of makes sense if it's her. Think about it. Wait. She was a part of this, right? She was a part of this, so she easily could have lied about hanging the professor, whether that was Enoch Drebber or someone else, not sure. Yeah, I definitely feel like the evidence is pointing towards Courtney. That's the only thing that makes sense for the time being. Because we also know she's embezzling money. Not that we have evidence of that, which is so disappointing. And we know it too. Sadness and souls. You're noticing someone of the most serious of crimes. If these accusations turned out to be false, then make no mistake. The prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander. Gulp. Golly, I'm real scared of this prosecution kind of guy. I think he really needs to chill the fuck down.
Do you intend to pursue this course?
Yes, let's fucking do it, mate. Let's fucking go. What do I do? At the moment, this is little more than a hunch on my part. Follow the hunch! Follow the hunch! Follow it down the dark alleyway. She be right, she be right, she be right. Have to make my position clear as a lawyer and as a potato. Okay. Going to name Mr. Drebber's accomplice. Yes. Somehow the two bird cages must have been switched. Everything points to that. Yet according to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility. The coroner, you say? Bitch McGee. Wait, hold up a second. Real quick. Is her name on the autopsy report? No, it doesn't say. Oh, it is her! Yes, I fucking knew it, this bitch. This bitch has been covering from the beginning. Counsel.
Counsel!
My lord?
You have received a stark warning already. If you are nevertheless determined, then I must ask you to identify this alleged accomplice by name. So, your answer, please.
You know, it's really disappointing you had to do this, Courtney. I'm really disappointed in you. I believed in you, okay?
Take that!
Mainly because of how beautiful you are, but... Lily, do you still want to be a Courtney? Oh my word, Han, I actually got a teacher response within a couple of days. Yeah! Good to hear, Aelin. Now you can sufficiently defeat everything in your path. And Chatter's cute. I like cheese. Shh. You can be a Courtney, okay? Slay.
Surely fear doesn't bind your tongue now. It's a little late for that.
Of course, I'm afraid. Naming her in this capacity is definitely going to make waves. A lot of waves. I could very well turn every person in the courtroom against me.
I'm sure it will be alright, Naruto.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. The enemy always appears larger than life, but you'll appear exactly the same to the enemy. Wait, what?
You've kept us waiting long enough. Your answer, Counsel.
Person who colluded with Mr. Drebber in order to carry out this wicked crime is Scotland Yard's coroner, Dr. Courtney Scythe.
What basis are you talking about, Dr. Scythe?
The head of the forensic investigation team and the coroner who conducted the autopsy on the victim.
I'm gonna ruin his sense of trust. We know there were two bird cages, so who could have carried out the switch to complete the illusion? The accident happened in front of a huge crowd of spectators, and the area was immediately sealed off. Then everyone, police officers included, were banished to make way for the forensic investigation team. That does make sense. When else could the switch have occurred? It can only have been in the team's presence. It's essential that the court determines exactly what happened following the incident. The defendant demands Dr. Scythe be summoned to the witness stand at once to testify. Uh-oh. I'll be right back. And then she fell asleep for 4 hours. Ever lad standing up there, dragging the yard's name through the mud. I know the woman very well. There's no better dead room worker out there. Dead room worker? How dare you call her a criminal? My friend's imagination appears to be wilder than the East End at night. But the recklessness of your accusation aside, there's another grave problem with your argument. Motive? One which the prosecution demands you address at once. Okay.
Oh my word.
Who do you claim acted as the victim's doppelganger? The Clay? What?
It must also have contained a body.
And yet, no missing person or accidental deaths of anyone even remotely resembling the victim have been reported. Which means there was no one, dead or alive, who could have fulfilled the role of a body double for Mr. Asman. Can I just say, something really refreshing about, I think, this case and the last case has been that Van Zeeks is, like, completely in the dark. And it's kind of, like, fun that way, right? Like, I feel like a lot with the first game, he was kind of just pulling us along. You know, he's like, I expected this, and, like, pulls out more evidence from out of his, like, fucking jimmies. And you're like, why didn't you bring this up sooner? You know what I mean? But I feel like with this one, it's been this game, it's been a lot more satisfying because it's like, he's like, yeah, he's still, like, obviously doing his job as, like, defending and trying to figure out the evidence of everything, but he's also, like, he's not just pulling, like, evidence out of his ass, you know, he's actually, like, prove this to me. Like, this is a crazy assumption you're making. Prove it to me. I respect that. So there were 2 birdcages, then there must have also been 1 person inside each. Did I save? Name someone. Oh, surely I present evidence. I guess we'll try it out. And present the head.
Take that!
We know the victim, Mr. Asman, was in the birdcage that's situated inside the kinesis machine. Therefore, he couldn't have been inside the second birdcage. Instead, that contains something else. What's been described as a body double, which is what fell from the sky and crashed into the crystal tower.
Yes, Counsel.
And that body double inside this second birdcage was, in fact...
It's alright, Naruhodo. You're ready for this. Just steel yourself and come out with it.
Thanks to Sasha-san. As I was saying, the body double inside the second birdcage was, as unbelievable as it may be, the thing there. Why is that sitting there? Sorry? That thing there. It's just the whole figure is just sitting here now. But also, it didn't fall apart. Wouldn't it have lost a nose or something? Open your eyes and see into mine. Okay. Alright, flirting. I like this. From across, I'm looking. Okay. We're looking at each other, eyes locked. Okay. Now tell me. What are you playing at? I think I'm onto something. Stand firm, Ryunosuke! This is the time to show your Japanese spirit. As the court will observe, this is a waxwork model. Someone got a steam burn tonight? How? Got a burn cream on it and a band-aid, so hopefully the stinging stops soon. Hecky, hecky. Just like steaming potatoes? I really say this as someone who's like steamed, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking of steamed veggies and my brain's like, I don't, like, I've never gotten close enough to burn myself. Ironing, oh, that makes way more sense. Okay, totally makes sense. I didn't have access to running water. Damn, what? Okay, ironing makes a lot more sense. Ironing is dangerous, okay? There's a reason why we don't do ironing in this house, okay? I jest. It's mainly because we don't really have an ironing board. Like, you just expect me to iron stuff on the bench? Anyway. By the time I noticed, I was in the car on the way home. You didn't notice? Wait. You didn't notice immediately? It wasn't like immediate, like, a model, in fact, of an infamous London murderer from 10 years ago, the Professor. Everyone started by indicting the leader of the forensic investigation team as an accomplice in this crime, and now you've moved on to indicting Waxworks. God, I love him. Yes, that's about the size of it. But why? And why this Waxwork? Looks nothing like the victim. In fact, it could hardly resemble him less. What possible justification can you give? Oh, because it has the real identity on this side. So I guess that it links to the fact that the Professor and Oddie Asman is the same person. If you want to know why, ask Mr. Drebber. Oh, he's sweating, bro. What? Just days before Professor Hairbrains performed his public demonstration, Mr. Drebber abducted this model from Madame Tussball's.
Did you say abducted?
And 2 days after the incident at the Great Exhibition, he returned it to the museum.
And then the timing. Is this true, Mr. Drebber?
Yeah, I had a burn and I didn't notice it until I got to work. I mean, I felt the steam hit, but I didn't feel it burn. Okay, no, that's fair. Brushed my finger against my backpack. Ooh, ouch. He took it so that he could put it inside the second birdcage as a body double for Mr. Asman.
Objection!
Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Are you hearing the defense's astonishing proposal?
Why do we gotta listen to the jurors?
That the witness fabricated this vast machine with the intention of deceiving some wretched scientist. That he did so in the collusion with the country's finest coroner on a public stage in front of a vast crowd. And that, to effect the deception, he used a waxwork model that no way resembles the victim. Are we really to believe this far-fetched tale? What do you decide?
Objection!
I think it's viable. Wait, yes, if you put it like that, of course it sounds implausible. My lord, we need to speak, if you please. No, don't let him! They're jumping to conclusions. I hate this. I hate this part. I hate it. Every time, please.
Guilty.
Guilty! You know what's also funny? I also got a burn today. I gotta get my arm out. So, you know, it's like our fates were intertwined, Aelin. It's almost like we're both goofy goobers. Fuck, I gotta get my arm out. I don't want. I'm so lazy. Wait, don't worry, guys. I'm so tired. I'm really sorry. I'm getting loopy. Okay. Many thanks. Ow. Oh, my shoulder. Yeah. You can't see it. Never mind. No proof exists ever. I have like a very thin line across here I burnt myself. Because we have the toaster and I was leaning over it and I dragged my arm along it. Come on. It doesn't look like anything. That's fucking crazy. God, you traitor camera. Well, I guess I'm just crazy then. We tried our best. Slight discoloration. It's so weird. It doesn't look like it shows at all. We're fine. We're all fine. I'm like, the light? Oh. The camera is weird. The camera is very weird. It always makes me so sad, just how weird the camera is sometimes. Because most of the time, like right now, looks pretty good, pretty one-to-one, not too many problems. And then I put on a gorgeous, like, color or something, and it just goes, nope, no gorgeous color. Yes, I'm back. Please, it's okay. You don't have to clap and worship. Okay, maybe a little. Haha. Oh, praise be that Lily has returned upon this chat and stream, and that she praises us with her presence. Truly, such beauty has never been known. Okay, I need a pee. I'll be back. You're promoted. I'm promoted from what? from 1.5 wife to 1.25 wife? I come back and she leaves, shake my head. Well, that was the humor of it, but also my bladder. And I also need more water. You're promoted from wife to wife. With capitalization. Oh, that's so funny. Isn't that a demotion? No. Okay. Can someone like click through this part of the game for me? That would be great. Because obviously it's the summation explanation that's gonna drive me up in the... Okay. I'm gonna click them all. Thank you. Judicial findings. I'm just gonna read this all in my normal face. I've been knowing that woman for years. She'll never be an accomplice to anything. It's utter nonsense to think these two would ever be conniving with each other. Oh dear, this is most troubling. But surely the waxwork man stole is nothing to do with the coroner. I have my own problems with members of the police. I do not trust them. Bro's a criminal. I've seen rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside the birdcage. It's conjecture. Accuses someone without right evidence. He's not a proper job, is he? I won't have it. Alright. This is like the 12th game. I'm gonna go pee in place of Hannah. Wait. No one resembles that of the victim. It does, though, because he's the guy. He's the bad guy. I have a feeling it's a greater clue than I thought. Okay. Does anyone have the key? Maybe Madame Tusples has the key? Okay. Oh yeah, have a good night, Balvon. Sleep well. Hang on, is that a kid in the jury? Don't worry about it. Yes, there is a kid in the jury. We have not figured it out, okay? They're just having a good time, obviously. My lord, take me home to the place where I don't know. West Virginia, Western Union, everything. Pardon. Okay, cuties, I'll be back. Ugh. You know, I need to thank my mom for this shirt. It's a really good shirt. It's really comfy. Okay. Cracking my hips is what I do. We're going well. Man, I'm so lucky y'all can't hear every single time I crack a limb. Hi, Rashkavar. It's been a while. Oh, hey, the chair is streaming. Always. Good to see you, Rashkavar. You know what's funny? I was watching the most recent clips of, like, the thing. Come on, Hannah. The weekly highlights video I make. I was watching through it, and I was watching through the clips, and I said your, like, name aloud in it. I can't remember what for. And I was sitting there, and I was like, when was the last time Rashkavar was in chat? Like, and lo, he appears. I accidentally put on 2 different shoes. They were both the left shoe. That's kind of impressive. Good job. I was in a rush to get out the door tonight. Ellen, please. I didn't notice until 30 minutes until the end of sewing. That's actually genuinely impressive. Cause surely you would realize while you're in the car, you know what I mean? I had 2 left feet. Maybe you have 2 left feet. You can dance. You can dance if you want to. And leave that world behind. Okay. Alright, let's push this one. Start with the most interesting. What sort of problems? Let's just say we ever run into each other on numerous occasions. Right, I see. Obviously, artists such as myself cannot appear on stage as we work in close proximity to our audiences. So we perform our great magic in parks and street corners and the like. Yeah. But the police use any excuse to make our lives difficult. Oh.
Excuse me.
I noticed it felt weird, but thought nothing of it until later. Gave everyone a good laugh. That's good. Little silly Ola. Mr. Ottomall. Who are you calling a mass murderer? Oh, sorry. I got confused because I heard you looked like him. I don't look anything like the man. You want to be locked up, Sonny. Thanks, Mr. Sholmes. Respected you. No one would call a coroner into question in these days. A coroner's report was the hallmark of an investigation done right. Especially when Dr. Courtney Stevens put her name to it. She was the best of the best and the apple of... Hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Who? Courtney Stevens? Who's Courtney Stevens? Ah, sorry. Got a bit carried away there. Stevens is Dr. Science maiden name. Her maiden name? Of course, yeah, silly me. It's Scythe now, isn't it? Stevens. I'm sure I've heard that name somewhere before. Anyway, the point is, those were the great days of policing. Sorry to interrupt, sir. But do you think you could change your statement to include that name? Teehee. Ooh. Okay, save number 1. Popped in 3 places? Damn! Ready the popcorn? Okay. I think I'm just gonna have to push every statement.
Hold it.
So can I pit these 2 against each other because of the name? Because I have a piece of evidence that links those 2 things. Yeah. Yeah? Well, let's try it out.
Objection.
Those two statements contradict each other. I presume that you heard what juror number 6 said in his statement. It brought to light that the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Scythe, which in turn has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before.
Naturally, as a woman of society, I found myself such connections and relations irresistible. But oh golly, I'm afraid I fail to see what you mean.
Dr. Scythe's maiden name is Stevens, and through the name, the coroner is very definitively linked to the waxwork of the killer. Defense has evidence to prove it. Okay.
My goodness, evidence you say? How utterly enthralling.
So it should be this. Yeah.
Take that!
I have here a certain autopsy report from 10 years ago.
10-year-old autopsy report. What relevance does that have?
It is, of course, from the autopsy of the man portrayed in the waxwork, the killer known as the Professor.
The professor, but the man was a capital offender, sir.
That's right. This is the certification of death that was drawn up after the convict's execution. The identity of the killer was never made public, so the report gives few details. But what's important is the name of the coroner who wrote it. Courtney Stevens.
Oh my, Courtney Stevens.
Strike a light. It appears that the professor's autopsy was conducted by Dr. Scythe 10 years ago, and a few days ago, Mr. Drebber very deliberately stole the waxwork of the professor from Madame Tuspel's, a waxwork that doesn't, in fact, resemble the victim, Mr. Asman, at all.
And do you suppose there's some unsavory relation between those events?
Absolutely, I'm sure of it. There's no doubt in my mind that the professor case, but is at the heart of a link that we have yet to uncover. Between Courtney Scythe and Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Hidden links, mysterious connections, secret relationships. This is most extraordinary. We're gonna have to oblige to explore this further.
Something so funny about being like, is it interesting? Don't care. Alright. Back in my day, it was a long way to nowhere. Okay. I don't know who to press next, but might save.
Hold it!
So it's looking for evidence, and it will be the piece of broken glass. I do have evidence that proves the waxwork was inside the birdcage, namely the blood? The blood or the camera? The blood or the camera game, come on. Present, okay, it is the glass. Even though I would argue, well, I guess the blood still hasn't been connected properly, but why have blood on it though? Oh, it's unusual thick for glass. It's a piece of broken glass that we found inside the jacket on the waxwork. As you say, it's not ordinary glass though. It's very thick and clearly made for extra strength, much like the special glass that was developed for the construction of the Crystal Tower. Holy smokes! Exactly, the centerpiece of the Great Expedition, where the very incident we're talking about took place. On the day in question, the birdcage fell from above and smashed through a window of that special glass. But once this small piece originated, is that it?
Precisely. So, what do you say? The presence of that piece of glass leaves me in a little doubt that the waxwork was indeed inside the thing. So now we have evidence. Okay. R?
Objection.
If you could put the corn down.
Oh, you may.
Pointed out that it's wrong to make an accusation without evidence, but the accusation that the waxwork model was inside the second birdcage and the Alright.
I don't understand much because Colonel Cobb, to be honest.
If I could interject here. Please do, sir. Now that this assertion of yours about the waxwork has been backed up by some solid evidence, it would be wrong of me as a man of science not to pursue the matter further. Oh. Well, thanks, buddy.
Well, me too then.
What?
This brainy gentleman says he's right, then he must be. See, I wouldn't dream of going against Colonel Cobb or anyone who's got stuff in between the ears.
What? Alright, we did it. It's too cold. I agree. Yeah, sorry, I had my attention elsewhere for a while. No stress, Rash Kavar. Just don't you even worry about it. It was just a vague observation. It's like sometimes I see a regular at work, like someone who comes at least often enough to to grab a coffee, and you sit there and you're like, when was the last time I saw you? And it's like, it might have just been that I wasn't working that day. You know what I mean? So someone else saw him. Okay, we're good. Let the trial continue. All right. The fact that there's still another whole third to this trial's insane to me.
However, it would appear that it does at least warrant further investigation.
It's the waxwork of the professor that links Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe, and I'm convinced there's a special significance to that link. I know what you're hoping to prove, lad, I really don't.
The truth, sir, by using evidence and testimony.
Then the prosecution calls for the owner of the model to be summoned as a witness.
The owner?
Madam Tusples. I really thought that Lord Van Zeeks would object to this whole line of inquiry.
Very well, I concur. Make arrangements for Madam Tusples to appear.
And the professor? Listen, my friend. Yeah. You should know that you're on the brink of opening Pandora's box. Yes! Yes, and I'm loving it! Do it! I love that he's saying that to warn us. He's like, are you sure you want to go this way? 45 minutes? No, 4 to 5 minutes. I shall see to it at once, my lord. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean, what do you mean? We did it! It still took me 2 hours! I was trying so hard to go as quickly as possible, and it's still taken us 2 hours. This is insane. Do 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 do. Okay, that's a lot to go through. Ah, the knight errant himself. You been watching? I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. He fell asleep. Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs, as a spectator at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. I forgot about this guy. Haven't heard him talk in a while. Good job. Thank you.
I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've ever before. Who even is he?
Of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago. Yes, the professor. When I discovered he was the one who has been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. Who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies. As it turns out, Lord Van Zeeks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he?
Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock.
And now a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man. Make it sound deliberate.
But this professor case is really very puzzling.
Oh, yes. In what particular manner?
Well, there's Mr. Drebber, Mr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zeeks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow.
Yeah. In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. Although that leaves me as an empty set, alone with no intersection of any other.
Excuse me. Oh, wrong lady. Excuse me. Dr. Scythe. What are you doing here? Ah, Courtney Scythe. Nice events. Good day to you. Hello, Shams. That was very shrewd of you. What in particular, pray? You requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? Oh, why would you assume such a thing? He's too smart. Shams is too smart. Because Gregson told me. To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory wielding my scalpel. I smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant. I think I've heard this before. The policemen on the jury had a lot to say about you as it happens, Dr. Scythe. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. That certainly won't be possible. Lord Van Zeeks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. No! Lord Strongheart? The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. But please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me.
But attempting to hide the truth, that's cowardice.
I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I've no regrets, none at all. And that's all I came here to say. So, good day to you. Bye-bye. Crazy lady. Pretty lady, yes, but also crazy. It's always the pretty crazy ones, huh? Is this the second game still? Yes, yes. We're in the second game. The meaning will become all too apparent, whether you like it or not. No? Now then, I believe it's time. Man, that was a quick 45 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes. A word of warning, if in course of the trial this afternoon you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. I like how this is Shams basically being like, bring the truth to light. Because he can't, but we can. Because we are fools. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. God bless you, Shams. Thanks. I understand. Naruhodo. Good, I shall make myself scarce then. If only you did that more. JK, JK. We love you. Stay around, please. I purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away at the truth. What a nice line. Thank you. Thank you. What did that warning from Mr. Shams really mean? It's time for the final chapter. I'm determined to find the truth, no matter what. Whatever it takes. I feel the adrenaline in my veins. I'll do whatever it takes. Alright, 12:40 p.m. Oh, Bailey. I don't like that being in the center of the courtroom. Okay, prosecution is ready. The defense is also ready. Court is aware that this is under scrutiny and that everyone is going to die a gruesome death. Seems to be the fate of all trials in which this friend is involved in. So that.
Let's begin the exploration.
My lord.
Are we still awaiting the arrival of Madame Tuspos?
Not at all. She is in the antechamber as we speak and ready to be summoned. Right. Bring her in.
I want to do shit.
If Drebber is responsible, I'm sure he is. It means he must have an accomplice in Dr. Scythe.
And what connects the pair of them is the waxwork.
Take the helmet off. She's gonna have the key. The literal key. Damn, look at her go. She's doing a good job. I feel like that's a reference to something. State your name and occupation.
My name is Madame Esmeralda Tuspers. I am a waxworks artisan, and the proprietors of the Madame Tuspers Museum of Waxwork. You will have to pardon me for working as I testify. My new exhibit must open very soon.
But also, he's gorgeous. Oh, he finally gets a statue, does he? Oh, it's Sholmes! Fucking damn it. I forgot. Witch lady! Witch lady? I didn't realize it was Sholmes.
Oh my, what expression is she carving into that face?
A number of days ago, a particular waxwork stolen from your museum. Can you confirm?
Oui, that is true. At first, we believed it had been kidnapped. Yes, my lord, there was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. However, according to what I have just been told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. Understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim?
At present, there is no more than conjecture proposed by the defense. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Ode Asman.
But of course, I know him well. He is a part of my odious personage exhibit. I detest to say that is evident, but Mr. Asman does not resemble the professor at all.
Yes, but perhaps the faces are very similar.
Are you suggesting that we should see the masked visage of the philosopher?
That wasn't said right.
I have here the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open the lock.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. This is absurd.
Pardon?
I don't know what face you've carved onto your fancy figure beneath the mask, but clearly it won't be that of the actual killer.
Indeed. Man's identity was never made public after all.
The trial took place in a closed court. The proceedings were strictly confidential. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remained a closely guarded national secret. There is no possible way that a repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hands on that information.
Quelle dommage. It would seem you are unaware of the Tuspers principles. The family Tuspers has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned from complete fidelity, et voila our principles. There is a well-known legend about the Tuspel waxworks from the time of the French Revolution. It's said to have a waxwork of the queen who was executed.
Damn, GG.
Oui, that is true. That was a century ago now. I believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death, actually at the guillotine site. You are correct. The model is on display still today in the House of Horrors. We Tuspers will stop at nothing to obtain a faithful replica of our subjects.
New poll. What's the poll? Just decline to vote. You want me to get a witch outfit? We did talk about a witch theme maybe for this year for... You'd love that, wouldn't you? You would love that. No! I don't know if I would pull off a witch outfit very well, because it would just be me wearing black with like a helmet, like, you know, sorry, a hat, the witch hat.
Okay.
Dear me, somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose.
It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject. and it has been my family's secret for generations.
You mean to say that beneath a mask?
Oui, the true visage of the killer is there.
This is ludicrous. It's out of the question.
The professor spread terror throughout the Great Britain. As a result, the Madame Tussauds special exhibit remains extremely popular even today.
So cool. Cool. Ooh, witch. Blue witch, though. With little stars. No. No. She knows my weakness. Yes. She knows my weakness is blue with stars. How does she know?
The killer emerging from his grave is a sight to behold. You succumb.
I think my name. Explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in the creation.
With pleasure.
Do. Orb can be your familiar.
Yeah. The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked our society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Tussauds family principles. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold of the head in the cemetery just before the interment. I hid myself until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time that night. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
Okay.
Gravedigger, the man sanctioned this.
Yeah, which is an October.
Oui, I do. I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family is celebrated for. Nobody else knew, only the gravedigger. What harm did it do her?
So you truly saw it. The face of that monster.
Naturally, I was aware of the time that his identity was a secret. But Tussauds would not be Tussauds if we did not insist on absolute fidelity of our sculptures.
I don't believe this.
Give orb black cat ears and tail and nose. We've already done that, Lily. It's where is it? Oh, we've already got one. We have an orb that looks like a cat.
I myself have seen the special exhibit of yours.
The scene it depicted was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago.
Oh, see? Familiar done.
I have it the newspaper from the time.
Ooh, creepy.
The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article.
Was the Baal mask to blame for the great blaze? Blank rises from the grave. The executed criminal returns in the dead of night at the local cemetery.
It was the most detailed account of what happened as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words.
The public enjoyed the absurdity, Monsieur. That is why I have reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum.
That's a waxwork from that exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident. Yeah.
And that is correct. The professor you see before you here?
Alright. Cross-examination time. Do. Alright. I gotta find... Alright.
Save. Do.
It's based on rumor that's shocked. Okay.
Hold it!
No, I want you to question what the name of the person is.
It had nothing to do with money. The man is a part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt and record this history. That's my raison d'etre.
But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity.
I assure you behind the mask is hidden the true face of the professor. Exactement.
Hold it!
Hi, Cameron. How you doing? Hope you're doing well.
The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. His muscles were relaxing and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly. Oh dear, what a horrible thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have it on system with me. However, that night I was alone, and as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time. When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after the death.
Why 3 hours?
It is because of rigor mortis.
Right.
It's a name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceived bodies. The muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and inflexible. And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state. As the Mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death and it starts in the jaw.
I see, so that's why you wait.
Before that time, the mouth falls open and it is very difficult to do my work. I don't know why it's so cold.
It's because winter comes for us all. Okay. Illy Kamen. Sprinkle positivity.
Bien sûr.
Okay, I feel like I just need to keep pushing this line of thought. I'm just gonna save again.
Hold it!
Yes, yeah.
Pardon.
Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the season. No, that is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine.
I have no idea about it, but maybe I won't admit to my ignorance about forensic science. Okay. Took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. Okay, so what's my evidence here? What are we trying to profess? Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, the 17th of June. So she would have been there until at least 3. I would have thought that the thing we wanted to connect was the newspaper. Do we have the newspaper? No, we don't. Okay, this is the one that's based on them. There was a newspaper, right? Oh no, that was not official evidence that was submitted. It was something that Van Zeeks told us. Scheiße. It says Ori Asman at the bottom. It says his name. Wait, Mr. Jarvis' faithful encounter. It says Ori Asman.
in the corner. Oh, fuck. How did it take me that long to realize? I mean, admittedly, it's a fairly new piece of evidence, but what? Wait, so was he the one? He's the one who drew the image. Mad sheep rampage. Unexplained phenomena grips Oxfordshire region. Charles Darwin to receive Copple Medal. Copple? The Great Stink Parliament is to finally address the foul issue. I love these titles. Okay. I still don't think this is what we need. Also happy 420 day. Hey, I guess it is. It's 20 and then 4 here, but close enough. That's all that matters. Okay, but the Great Stink was an actual historical event. Go on. We need to know these facts. Present the autopsy report. Something about the timeline seems off. I mean, that was the only piece of evidence that could be vaguely relevant to what the fuck was going on. Sorry, can we... I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold from the head, and then just before the interment. It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because if they died midday, it should have only been 3, which means dawn, she should have still had like 2 hours off, maybe. Depends on the time of year. What time of year was it? Does it say? 17th of June. Midwinter. Well, that wasn't gonna be a worry. Wait, in the middle of winter? You were out in the middle of nowhere. It confirms the death of Professor following his execution at the gallows. And is that the problem? I believe it is, because your testimony and a particular detail in the report completely contradict each other. Was an event in central London during July and August 1858, in which the hot weather exacerbated the smell of untreated human waste and industrial effluent that was present on the banks of the River Thames. Okay, so West Melbourne got their name effectively, but in England. The miasma from the effluent was thought to transmit contagious diseases in 3 outbreaks of cholera before the Great Stink was blamed on the ongoing problems with the river. How did it take that long for them to figure that out? That's so gross. I like how there's a person here called Basil Gets work. It's like Basil Geese. Yeah. This is what should be happening in The Witcher 3 in Novigrad, in my humble opinion. Maybe in the next game. No one wanted to pay to upgrade the sewer system. That does take a lot of effort. Are you going to explain yourself, my friend? According to her testimony, Madame Dustpools was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, madam? You are correct, yes. As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis 2 to 3 hours after death. But the man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time. But on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Scythe's report, it quite clearly states that following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th of June. No. If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would already have set in. Oui, yes, you're right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff. In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd.
In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time.
Impossible.
I love this. Witcher 4 series? Oh my god, yeah, that's gonna be next year. Slay. Have a good night, Aylin. Sleep well. Rest up. Love you too. I keep forgetting that The Witcher 4 is going to be coming out. When we found out that The Witcher 4 was not going to come out in 2026, but like 2027, at first it was like, no! And now we're like almost halfway through 2026, and I'm like, slay, we're almost there.
Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of staff at Barclay Prison, where the execution took place.
Boyak. Extraordinary. On my day.
My friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact.
What fact?
The professor died that night, without question.
Did he?
He did. Of course he did. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands. There was no...
Yes, the professor died that night. But what if he didn't die at the gallows?
Didn't die at the... Are you insane?
Bro's having a bad day.
What are you suggesting did happen in that case?
I don't know. It's impossible to believe, but it could explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and the one other person of interest. Trevor? I have evidence that explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night. Hold up. Let me see. Evidence that explains that what really happened on the night of the professor's execution. Surely I just present this.
Take that!
Ah. What happened that night is written very plainly in this newspaper article. Executed criminal, it's the only thing that makes sense. Criminal returns in the night, dead of night at local cemetery.
You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now?
Well, if this article is to be believed, yes. The professor, assumed dead, following his execution, emerged from his grave and was killed again.
Don't be a fool, that's simply a rumor published by the gutter press.
Can you be certain of that?
Are you serious?
The point is, as the article says, there was a witness to what happened.
I would, yes indeed.
Wait. The young man who stole into the cemetery by chance that night.
Objection!
Of course there was a witness, the story didn't write itself, but obviously the man made it up. In any case, that was 10 years ago though, there would surely be no hope of finding him.
They're right here. On the contrary, my lord, we all know this witness well.
What? Are you suggesting you've identified the person in question?
Why are we being coy about this when we know all of this so far? Who is the alleged witness of the staggering scene? Wait, where is he? I'm blind? This guy. Alright.
Take that!
The man in question is Enoch Drebber.
Drebber? The previous witness?
This special exhibit of the House of Horror at Madame Tussville's Museum of Wax recreates the decorated scene in great detail. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave, and beside the tomb, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight. And that young man is a 10-year younger Enoch Drebber.
Drebber was there, in Lowgate Cemetery.
What is all this talk about Mr. Drebber? Is the name significant?
Doesn't know, does she?
Yes, it's extremely significant, madam, to your situation as well, in fact.
What situation?
The theft of the Professor waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetrated by the very same man.
No. But that would mean...
Madam Tunsples, it would appear you know the name Enoch Drebber.
Oui, yes, I know it. But from long ago in the past.
What?
Am I?
Good gracious.
Explain yourself, tell us everything.
Yes, yes, of course.
Oh, we're going back into a testimony, are we? Oh, no.
The story of the young man and the terrible sight he witnessed in the cemetery 10 years ago was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain. However, in all of the articles, the witness was simply described as a certain young man. No details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed. That is, apart from in one newspaper. The Daily Circus. It is the paper from which becomes the article I have already shown the court.
Saying that his full name was only publicized in that article?
Witness me. The university student who experienced the shocking event is Enoch Drebber, a disciple of science at the University of London and a resident of its student dorms.
Unbelievable.
When I read the article, I went to meet with the man. His discovery of the condemned criminal come back to life in the cemetery in the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit for my house of horrors, whether it was the truth or not.
Okay.
Exactement. He was studying science at the University of London in those days. He was just a poor student. I paid him £5 to model for the waxwork, and since that time, it has been in my museum to recreate the scene of terror from the cemetery.
Okay. I'm not surprised, but maybe everyone else is. Raises his hand. Put your hand back down. They're watching. They're judging. So 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. But the public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. Okay, but how did he live? 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Extends hands higher. Yes, Lily. What is your question for the day? For the day. You get one question a day. Even though the waxwork spilled is a poor match for the victim, its face is obscured by the mask. How are you? I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better. I did a lot of thinking on the weekend. Too much thinking, arguably. Way too much thinking. So bad for me. I'll probably tell you more about it tomorrow, but I'm feeling better now, thankfully, so yay. I also had a lovely weekend. I caught up with some ex-co-workers of mine, and we played Mario Kart. And played Mario Party. So Mario Party and Mario Kart. Just like hung out, ate snacks, had a good time. Anything else? No. Yay! Yeah. I won Mario Kart. We all lost dreadfully. Emma ended up with like 7 stars, and the rest of us were like struggling. Dude, it was all my fault, okay? There was a decision to either go for a star or go for Peach, okay? Now, if you don't know, in Mario Party and Jamboree specifically, if you go for like a companion character, they can let you buy 2 stars at a time, okay? So I was thinking, you know, like here I was thinking, I'm gonna play 4D chess. I go for Peach, get Peach as my companion, right?
And then I can buy 2 stars next time around, and then I would be like in the running to win. No, I did not win the mini game. I did not win the mini game in order to get Peach, okay? Because just encountering Peach doesn't let you keep her. You have to, you all fight for her. We all fought. Emma won, and she was already in the lead, so she ended up with like 6 stars. I think she stole back a star. I stole a star from her, but she stole a star back. And then she managed to buy 2 more, or whatever the fuck was happening. And then she got a bonus star at the end. It was insane. Anyway, but props, love. Next time, I will get my vengeance. No, I probably won't win. I'm not really... I feel like I'm only good at Mario Party if I'm like just versing bots or something. But even that's not true either. I'm just bad. Question is, why would the man do that? Which brings us to 3 days ago when the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Asman but the same waxwork, the coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated Dr. Syph would have noticed immediately. And yet, she submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Why? Because the waxwork was that of the professor. Is that what you're saying? Dr. Syph put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drebber. But that misconduct was a deadly secret that the coroner would do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Mr. Drebber used that particular waxwork as the body double. I'm sorry, I just said a bunch of things. I don't think I quite understood it. Hold up. Because the waxwork was that of the person, is that what you're saying? Dr. Syph? No. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drebber, but the misconduct was this. So Dr. Drebber was trying to reveal the misconduct of Mr. Dr. Syph? Could fight back at her for everyone saying he was wrong. This is determined to find out exactly how the coroner and Mr. Drebber are connected.
According to the missive I received this morning from the prosecutor's office, Dr. Syph is unable to participate in these proceedings.
She told us herself, didn't she?
Something happened on the night of that killer's execution 10 years ago. And surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution calls for the instructions in that missive to be scrapped. Yes! My man, let's go!
But, Lord Van Zeeks, the missive was issued from the Lord LCJ's office.
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me. Yeah, assert your authority, baby! Please. Let Enoch Drebber and Dr. Syph both take the stand together. Yes, my good man, my best man.
How about your request?
If they weren't colluding with one another, this crime could never have been committed. I'm just a stone's throw away, I can feel it.
The truth?
We're not gonna get this done. It's actually so sad. We're gonna be this close to the end of the trial, I feel. And I'm still trying to go as fast as I possibly can. Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe. She was literally in, like, watching from the acres. I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van Zeeks. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office. Betrayal is not in my nature, as long as the truth isn't compromised. Yes! My fine man. If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter who it concerns or disgruntles, I will pursue the matter to the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt. Yes! I love him! Yes! Okay. Mr. Drebham, you took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. And Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime. And where's your evidence? At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue. Let me save. I'm scared it's gonna make me pull something out. Talking, of course, about the waxwork. This model of the killer, known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago. God, I want to fall asleep. You don't need to tell me. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes and officially pronounced him dead. That remains to be seen. Is that so? According to newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life. The sole witness is Enoch Drebham. What you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction, but reality. It would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme, in fact. Tell the truth of why you saw the note. So he was the student who saw it. You can see the resemblance actually caught you with the man and Madame Pataspals, I mean. Surely he was not going to claim of what he saw. He was a research student at the University of London, wasn't he? And a bit too clever for his own good. What an interesting twist. When at that time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters, and in a court of law too. Very well then, if everyone so wishes, let's be frank, I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth. They look like they could be siblings. I know they're probably not, but like, they're both really got that light platinum hair going. Full respect. The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. This, yes, the illustration in that newspaper was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realized I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist. It was all because of that newspaper article. Right. Wait a minute, you're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now? Of course, you have to have a screw loose if you believe a corpse would come back to life. Not worth the paper it's printed on. I think that would describe it perfectly, yes. That's right, grave robbing to be precise. As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclar Vision. So, I'm so good at English.
So among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Grave robbing.
That's a crime, by the way. You can get arrested for that. Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative. Taking notes down, guys. Take notes down. Okay. Collect bodies. I think I've got it. Live bodies, fresh bodies. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead. Why would you when a fresh lung can get you $10,000? Get me that fresh lung. Way more dear than any piece of gold bracelet. Alright.
So you are one of the so-called resurrectionists, a particularly unpleasant scourge on society.
Actually, my fellows and I went by another name. The repurposers. The purposes. I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add.
Out of interest, who drew the illustration?
Audie Asman. That was the reporter who exposed me. He sketched that night in front of me as I described the scene. That's why he wanted him dead. Okay. There's your motive. I kept trying to figure out what the fucking motive was. Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I did. Okay. Alright, it's all coming together slowly. You know, 10,000 years later. God, she's so good at English. We're getting there. Okay.
Hold it!
I feel like we need to establish motive. Can you put that in your testimony, please? No. Okay, not that one. Okay. This article you mean published by the Daily Circus? Yes, someone informed the dean that it was my name that appeared in the article and carelessly let slip that night after night I was digging up graves. Hardly a model student, you might say.
And you had no idea?
And I've been run out of university, found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
That's a good way of putting it. Okay. Fuck. Okay, it wasn't those. So I'm proving he definitely saw the body. Okay. Going for a different angle. Okay. What are you talking about?
I think I already explained. Logan is the rear. Yeah, okay. I have to admit, I really do love these, like, animations. Like, I really love, like, the cogwork kind of aesthetics. There's something cool about, like, clock aesthetics. I don't know what it is, but I just love it. You do, actually. We do, actually. Yes. Oh, that's right. We do have evidence. Okay. We just have to prove that there's blood.
Objection.
Am I wrong? But the blood. Fuck, man. But the blood. They're like the need the clock. Or I guess it's the wax figure. Hold on. Okay. Let me think again. Let me say. Proof that he saw. Hang on a second. Okay, wait. So I'm trying to prove that they were actually dead. I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy. I'm trying to go as fast so my brain's like, I don't know what's happening anymore. Okay, so we're trying to find proof. We're trying to prove that he definitely, like, that the dude did come back to life. Which is a very hard thing to prove. I presented the photograph because, sorry, the camera, because we know there's blood on the camera. So I was like, maybe the camera is like, has blood on it back from 10 years ago, but I'm probably completely wrong about that. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I'm just gonna look. On statement 3, present the 10-year-old article. Okay. It's like, I don't have a lot of pieces of evidence to go off of, but I don't always quite see what the, like, nuance is, because like, just because someone interprets what you do doesn't mean it's fact? I don't know.
Objection.
Whatever. Sorry, Mr. Drebber, but I don't believe that. Don't believe what? Your latest claim. You did see the professor on that night 10 years ago. Oh dear, we seem to be at odds, but I was there and you were not. I know what I didn't see. The illustration with this article was drawn based upon what the journalist that you witnessed. Right. Wearing an iron mask. Okay, that's not how I interpreted that at all. That doesn't look like an iron mask to me. That looks like a zombie with like bone or iron protruding, and it looks more like a Frankenstein. Whatever. Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago, it was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity. It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burial.
But even the prison Wardens were to see the man's face, but obviously the provision of this mask was not public knowledge.
Huh. Mr. Drebber, as you just heard, there's no way I could have made that connection, but sure. A lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask, so unless you'd actually seen the professor that night, it's inconceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration. Okay. Can we get the Madame Tusples away from these two murderers, by the way? I should say that. One's a murderer, one's a body mover. It is a vile scene, isn't it, if you look closely? As I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified, which was why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight, but afterwards I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken. You're still saying you didn't see it. If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness, then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think what you saw with your eyes. I can't believe it. He's still not going to concede the point. Thanks, Van Zeeks. What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work. Alright, lady.
Hold it!
A fellow grave robber. What are you talking about? I wasn't the only one in the cemetery that night. When I saw one emerging from the hole he'd dug, my head very nearly stopped. So that's the terrifying sight I actually saw, you see. And you're claiming it was just another student on equally insalubrious business as yourself. Many of the medical students would wear metal masks to protect them from bacteria during dissection. Clearly, the fellow was using such a mask to protect his anonymity, wouldn't you say? There's more to the story, isn't there? The article goes on to say, in the next second, a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more.
I'd assume that the sexton discovered the miscreant at work, perhaps, and fired upon them.
If a grave digger had shot someone in the cemetery, I think it might have been big news. Oh. I can only assume it was an embellishment, bolted on later by the reporter.
Excuse me.
She's upset. We love her. Don't take it out on Sholmes.
Oh la la, pardon. I was lost in my thoughts.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Drebber's last remark was significant to you in some way?
I thought it a little strange, that is all. How Monsieur Drebber could claim this now.
If you don't mind me saying, madam, what are you talking about?
Well, when I met you 10 years ago at your university dormitory, you recounted to me about your adventures in the cemetery, no? Including the gunshot.
Stop. You might want to watch your tongue, you know.
Objection!
Have a care, Drebber. That's no way to speak to a lady. Yeah, Zeeks. Grr. Carry on.
Of course. According to what Monsieur Drebber told me at the time, he did hear a gunshot from behind him and the bullet hit the condemned man.
I said nothing of the sort.
No, you were very explicit about the details. About the mask that the figure was wearing. And the blood that spattered over you when he was shot.
Ah, it's coming together. Hello.
Ooh, he looks a little broken up.
He's what?
Like his gears ain't ticking.
Yeah, well, there won't be much longer. You see the criminal and they put him to death. That's the point.
Ah.
Hi.
Ah. Hey.
I love you.
I love you. La 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 la. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Thanks, Hat. I love you too.
Have a wonderful day.
You have a good night's sleep. You look like you need it. Finish up quickly.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get to the end of this.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay. I love you. Okay. Enough. Shut up, woman. You're making all this up. Okay.
That will do. Mr. Drebber,
Yeah.
you referred to the cat just given by Madame Tusples.
I have no recollection of ever saying those things. Come on, do you really expect us to believe you?
Control yourself, Counsel. I will not permit baseless accusations in my courtroom.
Right.
Under the circumstances.
I will let you present evidence to the contrary. I think it best that you supplement your testimony with a statement to clarify your position. Oh, right. There was no gunshot nor any blood splatter. Though it's weird to think this camera is around the neck of the waxwork from Mr. Drebber in the special exhibit, but it's the original camera? Like, what do you mean it's the original camera? That or she saw that there was blood spatter on him and she took note of that? What did I do wrong? Look. What? What did I do wrong? This is the blood in the camera. Did I present the camera? I presented the camera, right? Fuck off. Fuck. What exactly did Drebber say about the blood that apparently splattered on him? Hola, hola, this is what he told me. All of a sudden, he heard a very loud gunshot from behind his back. The bullet hit the figure who was emerged from the tomb in the middle of the chest in his heart.
One dreadful sight after another.
And since Monsieur Drebber was at the time facing towards the condemned man, the blood sprayed from the wound and spattered on his body. That is what he told me. So not an experience you would ever forget, is it? Precisely, and I didn't forget it because, as I've already said, it never happened in the first place. Didn't I present the... but I presented the blood. Did I click the wrong piece of evidence? Here, I'm gonna save one more time. Do I need to examine it again? I know that sometimes happens in this. Wow, there's blood on it. That's so crazy. Who would have thought? Come on.
Objection.
It's literally not the camera. What do you mean? Isn't this the perfect opportunity to pull the camera out and be like, behold, there is blood on this camera. And she made this exactly in accordance to his ways in life. There was no gunshot from behind me at all, nor any spattered blood. Or soon afterwards.
Hold it!
Okay. The one being Madame Tusples, of course. Okay.
Oh, oui, I remember now. I purchased something else from you that day. Yes, sais pas. Yes, sais pas.
Did you? I can't say I remember. What was it, madam?
His camera.
Oh, yes, I make a point of taking it with me whenever I make an excursion into any cemetery. You took a camera,
You took a camera with you, sir. To what end?
to record the details of the body I disinterred. But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it.
But I still have it the Monsoir. It is a part of the special exhibit in my House of Horrors. I am very meticulous about such details. It is the Tuspel way. This very camera Mr. Trevor took with him was on the night in question.
Okay, alright, thank you. That's so stupid. It's like, it's rare in this game that you have to press like 2 parts of the segment to get all the details to then be able to present. So I was just looking up and down on my evidence like, what else would it be? Okay. Mr. Drebum, do you remember this camera?
But that is the camera from the Fifth Night.
Yeah, we borrowed it from the House of Horrors. It's the camera you took with you to the cemetery that night, Mr. Drebum. And is that supposed to be significant? This kind of camera is rarely seen in our homeland, so my colleagues and I were keen to examine it closely. But we noticed that the lens extends forward to the end of the nose.
Hold it!
What is that? There's... there, just on the bellows. It looks like a dark red stain.
That's right. It's rather conspicuous mark here on the bellows, in fact.
But what are you suggesting?
Yes, my lord, it would appear to be a splatter of blood.
Something that could be confirmed with a simple chemical test. Isn't that right, Dr. Scythe?
It would be difficult to determine if it was human blood and not the blood of some animal. But yes, to test whether or not it's blood at all is simple enough. I propose that Madame Tuspel's testimony was correct, and that on the night in question 10 years ago, you were spattered with blood from the gunshot wound. Well, and that furthermore, you really did witness the condemned professor emerging from his tomb. But then, who shot the gun? There's simply no way you could have forgotten such a traumatic event. In other words, the only explanation is that you're trying to hide the fact that you saw the professor that night.
But why? Why would he want to do that?
Not for his own gain, it would seem.
For whose then? Who could benefit?
Mr. Trevor is obviously lying in order to protect somebody.
My goodness.
Okay, so it's someone who doesn't want the truth about the professor coming back to life to be exposed.
Oh, Counsel, who is it?
You mean the lady who's literally standing in the witnesses stand? I'm wondering on her part though, was it a mistake or not? That's the thing I'm wondering at this point. It definitely feels it could have been intentional, or she was instructed to do so even. It's Dr. Scythe.
Scythe? Whatever do you mean?
Imagine if the convict who'd been sentenced to death was not in fact killed. Imagine if that was to come to light. What are you insinuating? And imagine if the convict in question was the country's most hated mass murderer. If it was the professor.
That would be an unprecedented scandal. This is beyond a joke. Need I point out that a dead cannot come back to life? What you're suggesting would mean that the execution never actually happened.
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean. I mean, she could have just not... he could have still been alive.
Once a man is sent to the gallows, he hangs. No one could escape, not in Great Britain.
But the fact is, there was a witness to the fact that the man did escape his hanging.
That were really true, Counsel. The implications of misconduct would not stop at the supervising coroner. It would taint the honor of the entire judiciary from the ground up.
Yes. Burn them all, I say. Exactly because of these monumental repercussions, that Dr. Scythe would consent to any demand made of her by someone who threatened to expose the secret, even if that meant being complicit in a crime.
You mean...
I mean that Dr. Scythe wasn't collaborating Mr. Drebber's wicked scheme. She was coerced into collaborating in order to protect her decade-old secret. She switched the dead body of Mr. Asman with the waxwork model and fabricated the autopsy report. Lord Van Zeeks?
Pray forgive my freshly filled hallowed chalice and a whole raft of other discourtesies now.
He hasn't broken 8 chalices yet, I just want to say.
It's just the sort of tall tale Londoners would enjoy, I grant you. An executed killer rising from the dead, a Scotland Yard cover-up, a conspiracy at the highest levels. So let me ask you one thing. If the condemned man really did emerge from his tomb that night, only to be shot in the chest, who pulled the trigger? And disposed of him forever?
I'm beginning to think it was actually Courtney herself, right? Like she rocked up and was like, man, did I make a mistake? I also have a hunch it could be Oddie. I have no idea at the moment. You have too little information to work that out at the present. I couldn't agree more.
Old Bailey is no place for wild fantasies. And have you considered this, my friend? Do you realize just what a dangerous endeavor it would be to coerce this woman into such criminal activity? It's tantamount to declaring war on the entire British police force and judiciary.
But hard to imagine a sum of money being offered for research could warrant it. To rely on some strange deception when so much is at stake would be madness.
And this was no petty crime either. The victim was murdered. A man who'd already invested money in the venture and would be instrumental in future profits.
Yes, I had no reason to kill Mr. Asman at all. Or are you forgetting that his death results in me receiving not a single penny? The court is already aware of the contract between myself and the victim, no? Motive for his case runs deep, though I feel it. We know the reason. Research grant was the aim, taking Mr. I know why. Come on. I know I need to go to bed, but
I'll say one chance before the jury lose their patience with the charade. Let's see if you can back up your—
He dodges! Yes! I've just been waiting for that.
How do you explain why this engineer would throw all caution to the wind and threaten his own country?
Okay, I know what they are. I was waiting for this. Let's go. I do really like what they do with the, by having the,
Take that!
I like by having the signature in there, you know, like you could say the name is the same, but the signature's never the same, you know? That drivel should never have been written. It's typical gutter press nonsense. That means nothing. Yes, on its own, it isn't particularly significant. Come on. So, when we compare it with the contract.
Take that!
In this contract, this is the contract you signed with Mr. Asman. Yes, that's right. The very document, in fact.
That proves I had no reason to kill the man. I'm afraid not. What? There's something very significant that this newspaper and article and the contract have in common. And that is the common link that shows that you were determined to kill Mr. Odie. Odie Yasmin. It seems the defense has uncovered something the rest of us have missed. So, my friend, point out what these two have in common. Still making us do their work. What these two pieces of evidence have in common is a signature.
Signature.
The signature on the illustration that accompanies the 10-year-old article and the signature of the contract match. Belong to the same person.
What?
By the newspaper reporter who found Mr. Drebber and interviewed him about his ordeal. If you look closely, the reporter's signature can be found in the bottom right corner of the drawing. And if you look at the contract here, which was signed between the witness and the victim last year, you can see Mr. Osmond's signature at the bottom.
I see now, good lord, they're identical.
In short, the journalist who drew the illustration and wrote the article published about Mr. Drebber 10 years ago was the victim of this case, Mr. Odie Asman. There he goes!
Objection!
But explain to the court why. Why would that constitute a motive for the witness to murder Asman? Well, if you think back, you'll remember that Mr. Drebber talked about the article in his testimony. He did. Not the body's part, past that. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. I like how my initial impression of, like, why he had to, like, leave was kind of on the money, I'm pretty sure. Because I made that assertion, like, a while ago? Because I was like, this is the only thing that kind of makes sense? But I didn't have all the pieces back then, so it was just made up. Okay. Still going back. At the time, you were the student at the University of London who dreamt of becoming a scientist. However, this single newspaper article changed your entire life. He did, my lord. In fact, it's widely held belief that Asman managed to position himself at the heart of his criminal network, thanks to the many dubious connections he made during his time as a reporter. Oh. So you had to give up on your dream and leave university. You lost everything. Eventually you found yourself working in the field of science, but only in the shadows. And all because of that article, written by Mr. Asman. Enough. Stop this endless drivel about my life. What?
Find yourself, Drebber.
Yes, it's true, I had to leave the university as a result of that article. But it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. What do you mean? Almost every student of science in the faculty was too poor to actually conduct any research. But they struggled on with their hypotheses anyway. We all did, only to have them taken by vultures. Sooner or later, you knew your ideas would be stolen and patented by some wretch or other. Making a name for yourself as a scientist in a climate like that was a miracle only a select few geniuses would ever hope to achieve.
So this kind of explains why you also wanted to fuck over another young budding scientist who had the chance to not have that happen to him.
Personally, I wasn't one of those geniuses, so it was hardly a wrench. Being forced out of the academy because of Lowgate was the best thing that could have happened to me. Yeah, sure, mate. Mr. Drebber, do you genuinely believe that? Of course I do. Who's better placed to know whether or not I possess a talent for science than me? I'm sorry to say that your words don't ring true at all. How dare you? Which is the
budding scientists award.
Take that!
Okay, I had a feeling we'd use this as a piece of evidence, but honestly we don't have to. Is that a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science? It's the greatest honor that can be bestowed on a young scientist, my lord. There's no higher accolade. It recognizes emerging talent and promising a bright future. Your prospects for the future were excellent, weren't they, Mr. Drebber? Because even then, you were a genius in your field. But you lost everything. You had no more future, your talents would go to waste. Poor guy. As a result of this one newspaper article. When it dawned on you that he was the same journalist who 10 years ago ruined your life, it's abundantly clear that you had no intention of forgiving the man. So he didn't even like hunt him down, it was like an accident. The truth is... Nope. Dr. Scythe. Fine. Clearly this has run its course now. Okay. She has been like weirdly quiet this whole time. Obviously we still need to prove her side of the story, but we basically have the full story at this point. That's the good thing. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I'm so sad. I know, again, I could keep going, but I'm gonna lose my breath at this rate. So we still have a few more segments to go through, much to my chagrin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we have to kind of prove her side of the story, and then there's probably going to be more, and then more, and more, and more. Okay, cool. Well, that'll be in tomorrow's. I'm at least glad we at least know basically what's happened start to finish, for the most part. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you'll have an excellent day today and tomorrow, okay? Have a wonderful night's sleep, okay? At least I want to. Have a good day. And I will see you all tomorrow, okay? And we'll finish up this case and start chapter 4. Love you, Lily. Take care. Sleep well. Alright, nighty-night.